A shout out to our podcast sponsor, sportsponsorship.co.uk. If you or your business are interested in making a real difference to the Scottish game, supporting hundreds of kids into regular football, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk and they'll find the right fit for your brand. Hello and welcome to Tinpot. This is Tinpot on Tour. It's episode 10 of this mini-series. And my name's Tom, I'm your host. We're joined by Matthew.
Hello.
And Andrew.
Hi.
As always. Coming up in episode 10 of Tinpot on Tour, we are going to be discussing captains within Scottish football. It's been Matt's idea to discuss this, so later on when it comes to the topic, I'll let him explain why he's brought it up and what we're going to be diving into. We're going to be ranking those captains within Scottish football as well in a tier list format. We, as always, have the Predictor League. We're going to be previewing a game each from the upcoming fixtures on the weekend, and then closing off with a quiz. That's the plan. But how are you boys? What's been on the topic of the day for yous?
Not much really going on for me, to be fair. Just got the dog in here with me today, so I've got a little co-pilot. He's shooting themselves with the old fireworks. So, used to be fine with him, but don't know. He's getting older now and a bit more nervous. So, yeah, he's pacing around the room. But yeah, apart from that, nothing really exciting. I feel like I've just spoken to you guys like literally yesterday, but it wasn't. But yeah, this week's just flown in.
Yeah, we need to spread it a bit more so we can get some anecdotes. Nothing much happens in my life. Tuesday's the most boring day. I just have the kids, so not much happened. But I was just staring at the window at fireworks across the garden. And I was thinking, I really hate fireworks. They're totally pointless, waste of time. Yeah, just like get lost. Like seriously,
I was thinking the same thing.
What's the point?
It's a pain in the arse.
Pain in the arse. Absolute pain in the arse. Like
I think it was like quite good back in the day, like when you'd go to like a big park or something and then like you'd be bonfire night, but now it's just like feels like you're in a war zone like for about 4 or 5 days. Like everyone's just
so
setting
loud.
them off everywhere. Yeah, it's just brutal. And it's like to all hours of the night, and I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old and cranky, but yeah. It definitely wasn't like this when I was a kid. Like it definitely wasn't going off like all the time. It was just like
no, you wouldn't just like your neighbour
go.
just doing them. Yeah, you're right. You would go to an organised event with hot dogs and whatnot, not just some fucking wee jakey in the corner.
Yeah,
or the
totally.
big Nidri wars. I wonder if they're fighting tonight with the police.
I think they're all prepared for it, but
Jesus.
Yeah, fuck knows. How can you be
fuck
arsed?
fireworks and fuck that guy Fox Prick, eh? It's his fault, is it not?
It was,
mentally, you can buy fireworks like over the counter, like in supermarkets and whatever. You don't need any permissions. Like, they can be used as weapons. It's pretty lethal what can be done with them.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's mental.
But yeah, I used to enjoy fireworks night as well back in the day. But it definitely used to be over by a certain time. Like, because I was obviously a kid, so I'd be in my bed for a certain time. And now they're cracking on till like midnight. It's wild.
Bloody wild, eh? It is. It's antisocial.
Almost as big a rant as Matt's McDonald's one from the other day. But not quite to the same level.
No, I'm not as angry about fireworks as I am with the whole Baggagate, but fireworks are a total shite show, like, and I'm glad it's pissing my rain, so those fucking idiots standing about getting soaked, like, oh, my fucking sparklers and all that shit as well. Get the fuck.
It's a bit like Roy Keane. He was saying fireworks, parties and smiling are the three things that he can't stand in life. He says they're a waste of time. So we've ticked off one of the three.
What was it? Fireworks, smiling, and what?
Parties.
Oh yeah, I don't like parties either. Yeah, true. I don't mind smiling, but yeah, any sort of social event when it's really loud. Also, loud music in like pub settings. Like, why is it so loud in like a pub where you want to have a chat and that? You know, that annoys me as well.
Keep that for the nightclubs, eh?
Yeah, exactly. You want to have a chat in the pub in the corner and the music's banging or some idiot's playing the guitar really badly, but it's like really, really loud. Like the speakers is too high and you have to shout, and that's fucking annoying.
You need some level of ambience though.
Yeah,
like sitting in a
exactly.
spoons where it's silent is pish.
No, I don't deny that a little low level ambiance is nice, but background music, mate. I don't want some fucking shit dominating. And I'm trying to shout like to the person beside me, and you get a sore throat. You know, you're just shouting. I shout enough at home. You know, I'd be shouting my recreational time.
Recreational time.
Don't mind smiling.
Specifically for the home. Oh dear. Have you lads seen the? I was just going to say, have you lads seen the Adidas kits that have dropped for the World Cup?
Yeah, just tonight actually. Yeah, Germany one's an absolute beaut, I think. But I'm sure obviously we want to come on to the Scotland one.
Yeah, I was going to say, thoughts on the Scotland kit?
I think I'd need to see it in person, but from the photographs, I think it looks a bit shite.
Has it got like a pattern on the, like a pattern? Yeah, that you can see obviously close.
It's all sort of up and down, but because it's dark navy blue, you can't really see them that clearly. I guess you probably can when you see it in person. You're close up to it, but yeah, it's a bit meh. I like the simplistic idea to an extent, but it just looks like a sort of shirt you'd pull off the rack in Sports Direct or something that's meant for your Sunday League team. That you
like
just
a fake sort of
just
see
like an Adidas shirt off the rack that's just had a Scotland badge plonked on it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you'd actually be better going down the even more simplistic route with that top rather than making the effort with all the bloody saltires and stuff sort of discreetly in there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit boring.
Could go more retro, you know. It should be more retro. Surprised.
Well, Germany have gone that way, haven't they? And so have Spain.
Retro.
Yeah. Germany's kit's beautiful. Really nice.
I think if you look at the 20 or whatever it is that have been released, ours is one of the less appealing on the eye, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
But I thought that about the current kit. You know, the one I had for the Euros last year with the yellow bits on it, and it looked a bit like a bus seat design at first view, and that grew on me. That's now one of my, maybe because of the memories it was made in it as well. It was so good, but
yeah.
I'm sure if we get 2 wins in the next 2 games, we'll be happy with the kit.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as it brings us some luck, then fair enough.
Aye, as long as it's not the red kit of the Georgia game 2007. One-off game, and it went Pete Tong. Anyway, we digress. It's time to chat about Scottish football captains. Matthew was in the group chat earlier on today and proposed this as an idea, so I'm going to hand over to him to sort of introduce it and talk us through what we're going to be discussing.
Yeah, so my general thinking, just thinking of what reminded me was when they said Martin O'Neill obviously being at Celtic 20 years ago. You know, a lot's changed in football, you know, with the introduction of technology and fancy words and whatnot. And it got me thinking about the role of a captain. Is the captain as influential today as they maybe were in the past? Is the captain ever that influential? Can a captain drive a team forward? Is the captain supposed to be the best player or the most, I don't know, charismatic player, the player that can drive the team forward, or is the captain sort of the mouthpiece for the manager on the pitch? So I'm interested to see if we can maybe look back at some captains of the past, maybe discuss some captains currently, and seeing, you know, if there's any difference in captains these days. Is the captain, in my memory, or whenever I hear the word captain, it's always a central midfielder, you know, it's like the man that's like box to box going about the pitch that can shout at everyone. Whereas now, or development of captains, you saw goalkeepers. Obviously Casillas was captain when Spain won the World Cup. You've got strikers as captains. Obviously Alan Shearer is the main one of that come to mind. So yeah, I just want to discuss captains, and once we've had a wee chat, we're going to go on and rank some past captains of the SPL era, discuss them in a bit more detail. But yeah, thanks for throwing me in on that there, Tam.
Well, it was your idea. You came up with the
I feed the ideas to you, and you write the script. You know, isn't that how it works? Rather than me just
trust me, none of this is scripted. But yeah, I think it is a good conversation piece. I think a lot of it's going to tie into just the way football's played generally, because if you look 20 years ago at the idea of a captain, it's a hard man, it's someone that's throwing the tackles in and being demanding. leading from the front, bravery, all these things. Football isn't really played with the same level of intensity when it comes to going into a challenge or speaking to the ref, for example. I think that's all changed. So I think a lot of it might come back to, just the way football's played generally. Because you're talking about, is it the best player or is it someone that leads on the pitch and can translate the manager's words from the dressing room onto the pitch? I think that's always been the case and is probably more so now. The idea of the best player on the pitch being the captain, if you go high level and look at like Messi when he was at Barcelona, lives and breathes the club and sets the standards for the rest of the players. Unless you are that far above everyone else, I don't think it's ever really given to the best player. Some of the best captains in Scotland, if you look at like Neil Lennon, Scott Brown, at Celtic, for example, I don't think necessarily they were the best players in those teams over the years that they were captain. But their leadership ability was what got them the armband, I think.
Yeah. I think now they talk about a big sort of buzzword or a phrase is like leadership group. You know, they talk about that. Maybe less so the burden on one man or woman person. It's more like a sort of core group of maybe 4 or 5 players that are seen as leaders within the dressing room, and also the captaincy can rotate quite easily between those players. Whereas before you just it was like the one main man, the sort of boss, the hard man in the middle of the park, just kicking folk. But also leading by example in terms of their stylistic play, perhaps, to motivate others around them and to strike fear into both opponent and teammate. You get a walloping.
I don't know if it's the same now, but there used to be extra responsibilities on the captain just around the club day to day about collecting fines or about organising events or doing all these other things. I think that probably falls to someone else at the club at a professional level now anyway. So the captaincy is really just about training and games on a Saturday. And
don't forget the coin toss. I remember when I was a teenager, I was made captain for my team once and I was absolutely shitting myself because there was like sometimes the referee would ask one of the captains to like toss the coin. I was like, oh fuck me, I've got to toss the coin. Like, how the fuck am I going to toss this coin? I was like really like Paxton like tossing the coin because I was like really anxious that I would like look like an idiot because I couldn't toss a coin.
You had to toss the coin yourself?
Well, the referee would be like, right, you want to toss a coin or you want to toss a coin? You'd ask like what each like one of the captains.
The team just
toss the coin. Yeah, that's like one of his only jobs.
No, these refs are
maybe he was scared as well.
Yeah, I remember tossing the coin. It went alright, flipped a few times in the air. Can't quite remember what it was, heads nor tails, but it was rotating, so that was a success for me.
Tossing a coin now, what's your go-to? Are you a heads man, a tails man?
It's always tails, no?
Nah, I always go heads.
What are the odds of that, mate? Always go heads. What's the best coin for tossing? 50p?
50p is good, yeah.
And do you let it go on the ground or do you catch it in the back of your hand?
Footballers go on the ground, don't they?
Yeah.
But it's not really a coin anymore, it's like a sort of token, no? I don't think it's like a £1 coin that they toss.
It's like Andrew's nappy changing coin that he's got. One side his mummy, one side his daddy.
Yeah. Is that true?
That is true, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Doesn't get used a lot now, but back in the day when the shits were super frequent, then we'd do the old coin toss just to make it a little bit of fun. But I mean, I wasn't passing that over to like a third party or whatever to flip the coin or anything, you know. So, but I don't know. On the captain subject, I don't know. You look back at captains, I mean, from our childhood, you know, and then you look at even more kind of recent, you know, you're talking about kind of Scott Brown's. There's not really any captains I can think of right now that would fall into the same bracket. There are captains that are, you know, you would maybe rank as like the best couple in the SPFL or something like that at the moment, but they still don't really fall into that bracket. I just think players are a bit softer now, and I think the whole kind of dynamic between sort of player power and what was that?
Did you hear that? It's a firework, mate. I swear, like right out the back window.
I thought you just let one rip. I think the whole dynamic between sort of the more player power and probably less power for the managers. I think that it's maybe had to sort of the function of the captains had to adapt, quite significantly there, and that's why you maybe get sort of softer captains, I guess now. But other than that, I don't really know a reason for it. But I mean, I think the game's definitely missing it. There's plenty of games, obviously, that I've watched for Rangers where you kind of feel that someone needs to get a grip of the game, but it happens in most clubs. You don't really have, often, too often anyway these days, someone that is reliably going to drag you through it and motivate the team to then change the game. If you've gone behind or whatever, consistently going to be that guy that's going to keep the standards up. So yeah, will captains become redundant? I don't know. In future, will it just become like the leadership group, as you said earlier? I don't really know.
I don't think it can. That would be, I'd just switch off altogether. You need the armband. It's a sign of leadership, isn't it? You also get captains that are put in that position because they are from that club. Ross Graham at Dundee United's the club captain this year, young defender. It's happened obviously 25 years ago at Rangers. Barry Ferguson was only 22, given the armband. Is Ross Matthews the captain at Wraith, Matt, or is that wrong?
Yeah, well, he's the club captain. Scott Brown's like the captain on the pitch, sort of thing. So
I don't really understand. Why have a club captain that plays most weeks and doesn't lead on the pitch?
Maybe the club captain's like more of an ambassadorial role. Like he'll go and go to see the sick kids or give the Christmas presents and that. And the club captain just does the coin toss and stands with the mascot before the game and looks really annoyed.
Maybe they kind of sort of set the standards behind the scenes, maybe. But I think that's terribly difficult if you're then not able to do that on the pitch week in, week out. So, not really sure I agree with that.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe that football got more tactical and more technical, that the captain, as he's now more of the smartest player in some cases, where he can sort of take on instructions from the manager and express them to the team on the pitch, whereas before the captain would be about motivating the players to sort of get their fucking foot out their arse.
Well, I think adversely I would kind of look at it slightly differently, which is, I think by captains being able to kind of change a game, previously, a lot of the time that would just be about maybe booting someone up the arse or whatever, but otherwise it would be, look, there's an opportunity within this game, there's a weakness within their defence, there's a weakness within midfield or whatever, and the captain would be the one to then go and maybe just identify and sort of take the bull by the horns as such. Now it feels very much that, they're turning to the touchline all the time for instructions, they're passing notes, all these kind of things. It feels like it's a very divisive relationship between captain and managerial or coaching staff, whereas before I think you could kind of rely on your captain just to take a bit of the sort of tactical initiative in a game to try and change it, whether it's, as I said, spotting a weakness, saying, look, he's there to be bullied in midfield, his head's down, just don't be scared to get stuck into him or mark him, or whatever it is, then the captain would be the one to kind of drive that initiative. Now it's not so much, and maybe that's why captains are, generally speaking, a little bit less vocal. I don't know.
It could be that the managers are so powerful now that they have these complex tactical instructions, and in the past the captain could perhaps go a bit rogue on the pitch, like pop out right back, left back, bang in a screamer from 30 yards a la Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
Now the captain sort of is a cog within the sort of wider machine that's controlled by the manager and their precise tactical instructions, so it's a bit more difficult to perhaps take the old bull by said horns and drive the team.
It. I think you've hit it absolutely on the head. I think it's the complex nature of the structure now. You're talking about between the managerial or the coaching side and the captain. You've then got that added dynamic, which is more common than not in modern day football, of the director of football, and them sort of having a lot of control over, say, recruitment or whatever. So they might be then forcing players to get a certain amount of minutes, which is then impacting the power of a manager or a head coach would then have, and then that's then having a knock-on effect to the power that a captain would have. So I think it's just kind of diminishing the responsibilities of a captain. The more you kind of populate the steps above, then the less responsibilities the captain really has.
Yeah, that's fair. I think there was we've spoken about technical ability on the pitch, or like tactical knowledge, I should say, being the smartest player on the pitch. Matt suggested earlier, is it the best player on the pitch that leads? Is it the strongest, the hardest, the toughest, the most, like, the best leader? Or is it someone that's from the club and loves the club and knows what the values and standards are? Everyone sort of, I think from the outside looking in, most people had doubted when Scott Brown moved on, could Callum McGregor fill those shoes? Because Scott had done an incredible job for so long with Celtic. Because they seem like, from the outside looking in, different characters. Mm-hmm. But I think he ticks pretty much all those boxes. He is Celtic's probably best player, or has been for the last few seasons, most technical, probably has the best tactical knowledge, I think, based on his experience. He is a sort of Celtic man, if you like. So he's surprised me when he took over from Brown. He's done a really, really good job with them. I think maybe less so this season because they've just not been the same team, but I think that goes to show that you can have two different styles on the pitch and still have really successful captains.
Well, I think personally with that example, I think Callum McGregor is probably the epitome of a class captain within Scottish football, because as you said, he's ingrained in the club. He understands the club, from inside out. He understands the expectations, from the fans, etc. But he also has that balance of influence, within the team, and is able to take a game by the scruff of the neck when needed. I mean, there's a very good reason in Old Firm games that whenever Rangers have had any success over the last wee while, it's because they've shut him down, because he's able to influence a game and control a game so well. So I think Celtic have got the balance perfectly with Callum McGregor over the last few years. However, I think if you had a captain like Scott Brown in this kind of modern day team, I actually don't think he would be as successful, because I think that the way that the players tend to kind of react to a little bit more of a sort of bullish nature, I guess, it might not really fit into the game. However, that's the kind of captains that as fans we love. We like sort of reflecting on captains that aren't scared to get stuck in, who'll bollock players, who'll take a game by the scruff of the neck, not scared to roll up the sleeves. But in actual fact, if you sort of transported some of them through time into the modern day game, I think they'd be the most unpopular guy on the pitch.
Yeah, potentially. That's the nature of changing rooms these days, I think.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because we've never been in one. We don't know what it's actually like in there, but yeah, from a fan's view, I think you've got a good point. We've mentioned quite a few names already, most of which have been sort of Old Firm related, but I think we should start ranking some SPL captains by way of opening up a healthy debate. So if you are listening, you're not going to be able to see the graphic, but if you're on YouTube, you're going to love this. We've got another graphic to share with you. Let me just find the right one. Can you gentlemen see that on your screens?
Yes.
Can you see the tier list and not sort of a blank white screen?
Yes.
No, I can see the tier list.
Excellent.
Little pictures.
So as you'll see, there's 8 faces along the bottom. We'll go through them one by one, starting on the left. And we've got to somehow, as a 3, agree where they go. So S on the tier list apparently means superior, above all else. The GOAT, the best of the lot. A is right up there, and then we go right down to D, which is just dross. Really, really bad. So hopefully we'll have a bit of a split, and they're not just all in the same row. So starting on the far left, like I say, with Rangers man Barry Ferguson. Where is he going to go? Starting with you, Matthew, as the neutral.
looking at the tiny little pictures of captains there, and I can sort of see a bald-headed figure who could be my S. I'm going to put young Barryford at number A.
Number A.
Position A.
What's your reasoning? What's your take on Barry Ferguson as a captain?
Obviously, he was Rangers' youngest ever captain at the age of 22. Had 2 spells at the club at different times. Obviously, he won a lot and took Rangers to a UEFA Cup final as captain. I don't think he won as much as Scott Brown, so that's why he's at number 2, and ended a bit in a bit of a disgrace, did it not? His sort of spell at Rangers. He's not involved in some controversy.
Yeah, he did jump ship twice, didn't he? Yeah, he went away down south and then came back and then left again to go to Birmingham. So maybe he's still loved, obviously, by the Teddy Bears. Andrew, what's your thoughts? Where should Barry be going as a captain?
Right at the top for me. I mean, he was obviously. I know you thought I was going to say that, but I think that obviously youngest captain probably out of the lot. He understands the club inside out. He became a mainstay and a starter so quickly. He scored really important goals as well. Whether that's in Old Firm games, whether that's in Europe. He's been able to influence games from all areas of the pitch. And yeah, obviously you mentioned about him heading away and all that kind of thing. I mean, the one thing I would say about that is that sort of Paul Le Guen era, he was one of the players to really put his foot down and say that these standards are not acceptable, and this is not Rangers. And on reflection, he was absolutely right, so ultimately that's why he's still held in such a high regard. Yes, he's not won as many trophies as Scott Brown, but I mean, with Rangers in the 3rd division, I mean, that's not very difficult, is it? But so yeah, for me, Barry Ferguson was part of way more iconic moments as a captain and as a leader of that team than any of the rest.
Tam, deciding
in Barry's defence, he's the only one of those 8 that's taken a team to a European final.
Exactly, yeah.
As a captain, so that deserves a lot of credit. I'm not going to do it based on trophy count because, like you say, it's apples and oranges, pardon the pun, a wee bit. Because Scott Brown captained the team through a time where Rangers were down the divisions. However, it's tight. I think Scott Brown managed to foster a pretty good successor in Callum McGregor and brought him through as a young kid and showed him the ropes and made him into a better captain. Barry Ferguson left twice. I'm going to side with Scott Brown and put him in. Sorry, that's the wrong thing to do. I'll go A for Barry.
I wonder who'll be
if
first.
we can have 2 S's, I think it's a toss of a coin.
Yeah, toss of a 50-pence piece. Something
that Matthew wouldn't enjoy to do.
An Irish euro.
Coin. But yeah, Barry goes into A. Next up on the second from left, or now the furthest left, we've got Barry Smith, the ex-Dundee captain. Probably just at the start of our football watching lives. He took over the captaincy at Dundee in '98, then got them promoted. 350 odd appearances for Dundee. Captain Dundee to a Scottish Cup final in 2003. Had 9 years as captain overall. Andrew, we'll start with you. Where would you place Barry Smith as captain?
I mean,
in the tier list?
He's either bottom or second bottom for me. But yeah, I mean, based on the fact that he pulled the team through promotion, maybe I'll spare him from second bottom. But not a massive Barry Smith fan. Not because I don't like him, but just because never really watched him play that much, to be fair, or remember him doing anything of note. So yeah, I'll go the C category for Barry.
C for Barry. Matthew, any difference of opinion?
I'll keep it C. Yeah, he was obviously at Dundee during the mad times of Kinesia and all the other mental signings, and he stayed captain and fostered a positive relationship within the dressing room, as I read. Not that I can remember much of that, but clearly a legend at Dundee. Also, he came back as manager and saved them from relegation when they went into administration and were in the Championship, and almost did lead them to promotion, I think. Yeah, he had a rather unsuccessful spell as Rovers manager, but we're not talking about that just now. As a captain, he did alright, mate. He was a good guy. Solid man's man. So yeah, C for Barry. I'll give him a second bottom spot.
Yeah, the caveat to his promotion in the late 90s is that he did then captain and player manage the Dundee relegation in 04-05. So what goes up has to come down, I suppose.
Troubled times at the old D. Yeah, troubled times.
It very much so. Yeah, the Doe debacle. But anyway, we shan't dwell. No matter what I vote, it's going in C for Mr. Smith. Keith Lasley, the Motherwell captain for a good few years. Matthew, what's your thoughts on Keith as a captain?
Yeah, good guy, good captain. Nearly 500 appearances for Motherwell. He's clearly a legend. Led them to a Scottish Cup final. It's consecutive second place finishes for Motherwell, and a good times for the Premier League. But yeah, he's just a D because whilst a legend within Motherwell ranks, compared to some other captains we have left, you can't really rank him. Well, maybe you could put him D as well as Barry Smith.
You've put Barry in C.
Yeah, no, but we can move Barry back down, can we not, and put them both on D?
You've locked him in now, mate.
He's locked in. I'd say they're pretty equal, so let's just put him C and have no one at D. That sounds about right. It's a bit unfair, I think.
What do you think, Andrew? Is it C or D fodder?
He's a B for me. Keith Lasley.
B?
So, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
As a captain?
Yeah. Kept Motherwell in that Prem for quite a while. Influential player, is one that I certainly remember a lot more than Barry Smith. So, I can't really put him in the same category as Barry. So I'm going to have to say if he's staying in C, then Keith's in B.
I was going to try and push for Keith Lasley to be in D personally.
Should never be a D for a captain. Come on, it's harsh. Man.
Well, no, but you're not ranking them as football players compared to other random central midfielders, eh? You're comparing them to captains, and he was only captain at Motherwell for I think 5 years. Had no silverware in that time. Yeah, he got a couple of second places, but if you look along the list, I think every other captain there's had silverware, or got into a final as captain. I don't think Lasley even got to a final as captain.
Yeah, but was it his fault? What Motherwell didn't really have a lot to play with. You're looking at captains of Hibs, Aberdeen, Hearts, Celtic. Obviously you've got one exception with St Johnstone there, but aside from that, you can't really compare Motherwell with the rest of them. Motherwell were trying to basically stay healthy in the bottom six, for a lot of that time. So
they finished second twice in a row though under with Lasley, and I can compare him to Dundee, and I think it's for me it's a C or a D. I refuse to put Keith up in the B.
Fair play.
Well, we've got a vote in B, a vote in C, and a vote in D. So
let's go C for fairness. I think
he's alongside Barry.
Yeah, that's about right.
On to Mr. Dave Mackay. He was the Saints captain for not too long at all. It was just about, I think it was 3 years, but he was at Saints for a lot longer than that. He's got over 200 appearances at the club. But obviously, when he got the captaincy, I think it was in the year that they won the Scottish Cup. They went on, he's obviously gone on to win it. So, thoughts on Dave, Matthew?
Clearly he was a key member of the Scottish Cup victory over Dundee United in 2014, and a real legend at St Johnstone. So for that case, I'm going to put him in C as well.
Another vote for C?
Another vote for C. I'm saving my good spots for some of the next handsome chaps coming up. He wasn't captain enough, and you also remember him for that season, but you don't. That St Johnstone team, other than that, I don't know. They did well, but unremarkable.
Andrew, what's your thoughts?
I think he was, it was a short and sweet spell, but they got silverware. So ultimately, it doesn't get much better than that, really. He's come in.
I thought we weren't counting trophies as a captain, apparently. When we were discussing
but I mean, we're not when you're looking at the Old Firm where you're expected to win trophies, but at St Johnstone you're not. So I put him up at S.
Dave Mackay into S.
Yeah.
Okay, this list is just.
He's came in. He's made it. He's came in, made an impact. He's got some silverware, and he's went off. So I mean, as much as the rest of these guys have done their time, what have they got to show for it?
So you think, so you would have had Barry at S, and he's not there now. So if you're an idealist, you'd be putting Barry in S, and then Dave would be an A. Is that? No, I mean you guys put Barry where you're going to put Barry, but I have to negotiate. I have to negotiate this one now because I know Dave's going to get put down in the fodder, but I think he deserves to be up there. Yeah, but do you genuinely believe he should be an S?
Yeah, absolutely. He came in, won some silverware. It's like, cheers, guys. Give me a shout if you need me again. See you later.
Okay, so we've got a vote for S then, a vote for C. I would also vote for C, I guess, so we'll meet in the middle. Andrew, do you want him alongside Barry in A or do you want him in B?
No, I said B's fine, that's alright.
Okay, David Gray, I'll kick us off because I've had the deciding vote a couple of times. We know what Dave Gray did. He's referred to as Sir David Gray amongst the Hibs fans. First Scottish Cup for them in 114 years. Scored the winning goal in the last minute against Rangers. Was captain when Hibs were relegated, and it did take them 3 seasons to get back up, so there's a slight knock against him. But I think if you ask modern day Hibs fans anyway, the ones that haven't been fans of yesteryear, they would regard him as a Hibs legend, icon, and one of the best captains they've ever had. So hard to argue that he shouldn't be in B for in my opinion. Andrew, thoughts on Dave Gray?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, he was going to be B or A for me. just that cup win in itself, and how much of an influence he had on that. With the winning goal. Sure, Hibs had troubles prior to that, but not really too sure that was his fault. There was so much change at Hibs, and it was so unstable that I think it was probably one of the toughest environments to be captain out of all these lads. So. For how he's regarded by Hibs fans, and rightfully so, I think I'll agree with you with B then. I'll go with that.
Any additional comments, Matthew?
I would have put him an A just for the Scottish Cup moment alone, to lead that team to the Scottish Cup and score a winning goal. That's captain fantastic in my eyes, so A plus.
You'd have him alongside Barry?
Yeah, slightly ahead, but not quite S, but just a bit above Barry, yeah, maybe.
A bit above Barry. You're sadly outvoted. We'll put him to the top of B if we can. No, it's not letting me do that. We'll just pop him there. He's alongside Dave Mackay. Somehow. Russell Anderson next. Matthew, what's your thoughts on the Dons legend?
Russell Anderson, what a guy, what a legend. Synonymous with Aberdeen. Obviously, he got his big moment when he lifted the League Cup when they beat Inverness on penalties. Boyhood fan, turned captain. Born in Aberdeen, still lives in Aberdeen, I believe. Although he did leave the club to go to England, but he did come back. Clearly, he's loved by everyone over there. I'm going to put him in C.
C?
Yeah.
A trophy, 300 plus appearances, captain for how many years?
Well, you could put him in B. Put him in B. Then.
No. I'm not trying to sway your vote. I'm just saying my opinion. You've said C alongside.
You're not putting him in S, no?
And Barry. Nah, I wouldn't say S for Russell as a captain. But yeah, he's got a trophy, and like I say, Don's legend. Adored by the fans, 300 odd appearances.
Yeah, you've swung me, I think, leader. Because we've got Dave and Dave in there, we need to put another trophy winning captain in B. I think that's fair. So yeah, I vote B.
You've changed your vote, Andrew?
Yeah, I'd go B as well. I think, yeah, again, trophy winning captain. And just when you think of Aberdeen, you think about him, as one of the, well, probably the most memorable captain, definitely of my lifetime. So, yeah, I'd go with him in B for sure.
Lovely stuff. On to Voldemort. Scott Brown. Matthew, what's your take on Scott? Where should he place?
He's S, mate. He's the goat or the soap. I don't know what does the S stand for again? Sorry, Supreme.
Supreme, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. He's the man. Like trophy machine as captain, the most decorated captain. And I'll read the list of honours here: 10 Scottish Premiership titles, 6 Scottish Cups, 6 Scottish League Cups. He was at the helm for 9 in a row. And captained the side to 4 consecutive domestic trebles, a feat known as the quadruple treble. I mean, his arms, that's to retire. His arms were too sore, I think, for lifting all that silverware, mate. Like, his fucking withering arms. He is a legend, a leader, akin to your most famous captains in the history of world football. I think he's one of the best known captains. The fact that he shaved his head on purpose, to be more captainly. I mean, that's just S for me. Tam does the same, I think.
Fair enough. S. Andrew, any difference of opinion?
You're on mute.
Sorry. I've had to mute because of the dog. Yeah, I would put him in A, not S, because, sure, he won a lot of trophies, but, I mean, who else is going to fucking win them? So fair enough. But yeah, didn't do anything of note in Europe really. So I personally wouldn't say he's up there with Barney. But yeah, a fantastic captain in all seriousness, and probably the last of the kind of generation of captains that we sort of love and admire. So, I've got a lot of respect for Scott Brown and what he did. But, just due to his lack of any sort of note of performance in Europe, really, I'm gonna stick him into A with Barry.
Fair enough. Apples and oranges, like I said earlier, the trophy haul between the two. They didn't captain their teams in similar circumstances. Barry has the European thing to his name. I think if you look at, for example, in England, all of the famous, the best captains down there, your John Terrys, Stephen Gerrards, Vincent Kompany's, Roy Keane's, names like that, Gary Neville's. The one thing they all have in common is that they stayed at the club for 10 plus years, captain for a long time, and Barry, first chance he got to go to England, did that and then came back up and left. Scott Brown, I'm sure over the years would have had an opportunity at some point to leave, but he's fostered a good culture at Celtic. That's clear. I think that's still in that dressing room, the remnants of it, through bringing up Callum McGregor as well. So for me, he is S. So Andrew's sadly been outvoted. And finally, Stephen Presley, Elvis, the captain that won the Scottish Cup in 2006 with Hearts. He was there for 8 years, captained them for 5 or 6 of those years, I think, before going over to Glasgow. Matthew, what are your thoughts on Elvis?
I mean, the guy clearly inspired a lot of good memories at Hearts, and clearly he could lead a dressing room, and had a lot of pizzazz and razzmatazz. He also led the sort of. He was a spokesman when he came out against Romanov. So clearly he was the man in that dressing room. Players followed him. I'm surprised at the way he is now in the media, but I don't know if that's just a persona he puts on when he's talking to the cameras. I'm sure he does have more inspiring chats for the players when he's in the dressing room. He wasn't he captain at Celtic as well? Didn't he? Wasn't he captain when he went to Celtic for a spell? Clearly he's a player that can inspire others. He is well remembered from that time. I'll put him in. Give him a B as well.
Into B, Andrew?
Yeah, I will agree with B. I do wish there was just a wee sort of step in between there, because I do think that he's obviously he collected some silverware, but obviously how he acted under the sort of Romanov, time. It was a situation that none of these captains, have ever been in, or anything sort of similar. And it just shows sort of what a leader he is, and what unity he has, amongst that dressing room, but even amongst the fan base as well. So, whether other players would have done the same thing or something similar, or had the same influence during that time, I don't know. But it takes a special character to do that. So I would be giving him a B+ if I could. Do you know what? I'll give him an A, because he's, if we're looking at captains, yes, he's iconic at Hearts, but he's been a leader wherever he's gone. As Matthew was saying, even when he went over to Celtic, that was a Celtic team loaded with talent, loaded with big personalities, and he was still standing out as a clear leader there. So, maybe controversially slightly, I'll stick him in A for that reason.
Yeah, it's a tough call, isn't it, between A and B? I don't think he's on the same level of leadership as Barry Ferguson. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But he's definitely above Dave Mackay for me, so that's why putting him in B seems a bit harsh. But I think my judgment maybe is being clouded a bit by the standard of player and the quality that Barry Ferguson brought, which is why I'm reluctant to put him in A. But then when I think about it, and as a leader, as a captain, he's everything you would want, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna go in A. Him and Barry can cuddle there. So in summary for our listeners, the C tier, there's no one in the D tier. We've got in the C tier Keith Lasley and Barry Smith. We then have in the B tier Dave Mackay, David Gray and Russell Anderson. In A, it's Barry Ferguson and Stephen Presley. And our S, no matter how much Andrew protests it, it's Scott Brown. He's been given the crown of the best captain. Interestingly though, would you have put Neil Lennon ahead of Scott Brown if he was in the list?
That's an interesting one. For me, just because, and it's not Scott Brown's fault, but he was performing in a far more competitive era. And, I think that, just for me, whenever I think about, Lenny and the influence he must have had in that dressing room, and how fucking scary he must have been, to opposition players, I think he's just that wee level up from Scott Brown. But you can definitely see that kind of influence in some of Scott Brown's leadership. So yeah, it would be tight, but for me, he would just pip it, I think.
Yeah, again, has the European thing on his CV as well. Like,
what about Tav, mate? Tav,
yeah, you'd have to create a fresh category for him, I think.
He's taken Rangers to a European final as well, mate.
Exactly, yeah, and scored more goals than Scott Brown and Barry Ferguson. Doesn't matter.
He's the only Rangers captain to win a Challenge Cup, is he not? Was he captain when they won
exactly,
Challenge Cup?
Yeah, he's taken them through promotion as well. Like that's not happened with those guys in those categories. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'd have to create a fresh category for Tav. So you would. So.
Double S for Tav. Double S, son.
Sexy Supreme. Oh, fantastic! That was a good bit of fun. We'll maybe do more tier lists in the future. Let us know if you enjoy a tier list and us arguing amongst ourselves as to who goes where. Maybe next time we need to find someone to go in D. I think Barry Smith was lucky to be in C.
He was captain.
After all that,
you can't. By sheer, definition, he's a leader and a legend already.
Yeah,
so
it's hard to put a captain in the bin, isn't it? But
in the bin, you're the captain of the great Dundee team of 1998. Get the bin, son.
Yeah, promotion and a cup final in that time. In a team of stars, the Novos, the Canidges of the world, to still stand out and be the captain through that era. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe C is fair, and Lasley should have been further down. Anyway, let us know in the comments
captains.
what our tier list was like and what yours would be. Time for a quiz now. Sponsored by Nooch Bar and Kitchen. If you're interested in plant-based food, go along there. They've got some great homemade scran, everything made fresh in store and for great value. So yeah, head along to Nooch Bar and Kitchen. Tonight's quiz, I'm going to decide, well, let you two decide, sorry. Do you want to team up for this one, or do you want to go head to head? Because you can do either.
I'm happy with either, but I'll say team up. But what are you thinking, Matthew?
Yeah, team up's fine. Don't want to get battered two episodes in a row.
You're going to team up. Well, it's a game of higher or lower, or as Andrew coined it, Highland or Lowland. So, yeah, you're teaming up. There's 10 points available here. If you get all 10, I will buy you both a pint.
Oh.
Matthew's, yours will be Pepsi Max. If you don't, you both owe me a pint. That's the rules. What we're looking at this week is all-time career club goals. Basically, nice and simple. Higher or lower. Has the person I've just said got more or less goals than the person before? So we're starting with Darren Fletcher. He scored 32 career club goals.
Is this club goals? Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, just club goals, and they're all Scottish players from varying eras and of varying talents and positions. Darren Fletcher, 32. Is Barry Ferguson in his club career, did he score more or less?
Andrew?
I'm going to say Ireland.
I need a unanimous answer.
Yeah, lock it in. Highland.
Lock it in as Highland. That is correct. Barry Ferguson scored 67.
What?
Did Barry Robson score more or less than 67 goals?
Robson was more attacking than Barry, yeah.
He was a bit of a set-piece specialist as well.
Yeah,
for a while.
an old ping. Let's go Highland again.
I think it'll be tight. But yeah, I'll go to say Highland, yeah, as well, yeah.
Yeah, Highland.
Highland is correct. 2 out of 2, well done. He scored 108 goals. He took a lot of penalties.
Wow, it wasn't tight at all.
In his career. No, not tight at all. Next up, another man we've just discussed and put in S tier, Scott Brown.
Lowland,
more
surely.
Or less than 108.
Surely, Andrew, no way has he scored 108 goals, man, this guy. He wasn't synonymous with goal scoring, was he?
No, not really, no. I'll agree with that. Lowland, yeah, let's go for it.
Lowland is correct. Again, 3 out of 3. He scored 68.
Still decent.
Yeah, it's pretty tight with Barry.
So one more than Barry Ferguson. Another reason why he should be in S tier. Next up is Sean Maloney. Was he higher or lower than 68 career club goals?
I mean, surely he's higher. Yeah, well, maybe.
Maloney did score a few for Wigan, maybe.
I was going to say Wigan, Celtic.
Did he play a lot though? Because was he not injured for a wee bit?
I mean, I remember him playing a lot, but I mean, yeah, he did pick up a few injuries. Where else did he play, Maloney? Apart from those are the only two teams I really remember.
Celtic, playing. Wigan, Celtic.
Did he play for? No, he didn't. He managed
Villa as well. I'm sure he played for Villa under Martin O'Neill.
Yeah,
in that Villa team. I'm gonna go. I think Lowland. I think this is a curveball.
Do you think so?
Yeah, look at his smiling
68
face.
is not a lot for someone who was it's like an attacking midfielder, winger kind of.
I know.
It's not a lot. I mean, how are you getting signed for Celtic and then a half decent Wigan team with
that Wigan team was pish, mate. Come on. I'm going Lowland. Come on, Andrew. Trust me on this one.
Okay, I'll trust
me,
you.
Andrew.
I would go Highland, but I'll trust you. I'll go with your gut.
Lowland.
Should have made this a head-to-head because Andrew was right. It is higher. Highland is right. Sean Maloney scored 79 career club goals.
It's not that much higher.
It's actually not. Yeah, no, it's not much higher at all. Actually, I thought it'd be a lot higher than that.
Next up, more than 79 or less than 79 for Neil McCann.
Oh, I mean, gut feel is higher, but just
he played a lot, right? He was quite consistent in his career.
He played a lot for Rangers, and he did score a decent amount of goals. I don't know if he was maybe as prolific as Maloney was at Celtic. I'm not too sure, but I'm just trying to think of where else he kind of played.
Did he play in England for a wee bit as well? Let's go Highland.
I know he managed at Dundee, but did he play for Dundee?
He scored against Rovers for Dundee when he was 40, when they needed players when they were in administration. He scored the winning goal in the last minute against Wraith Rovers. I know that for a fact. So if that's the one goal that takes him above 79, then I'll be gutted. Surely that answer. He played a lot in the late 90s, so good Hearts team. They won the Scottish Cup when he was playing, I'm sure. Scored in the final, did he?
Yeah, maybe.
Let's
I don't
go
know.
Highland.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think it'll be tight.
Final answer, Highland.
Go, yeah. I'm too on the fence with it. Yeah.
You are bang right. Well done. Neil McCann scored 170.
Oh,
it was nowhere near close.
Fucking contemplating.
Yeah.
Sorry, Neil.
There you
Wow.
go. Next up, we have James McFadden. Was he Highland or Lowland from 170 career club goals?
170 is a lot, isn't it? But I mean, if you didn't know the numbers, you would say instantly he's higher than that, wouldn't you? But
I think lower.
I mean, he was prolific at Motherwell. He did pretty decent down south. Where is he? Everton and a couple other places as well.
Birmingham, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
he was never a sort of top goal scorer. He was more the sort of 8s or 9s, maybe down south anyway. Season.
I suppose so. Yeah, because if you're thinking about the teams that, I don't know. I would just find it mental that Neil McCann's
Neil McCann's got 170 goals.
I think so. I'll double check.
170 is like fucking.
No, that's bad. I'm just thinking about it. This can't be like Neil McCann.
I remember him scoring some decent goals for Rangers, but I don't remember him scoring every week or anything.
That's like, what, 10 seasons, 15 seasons, like, what, 8 goals a season?
Yeah, that's what was it, 17 goals a season for 10 seasons or something?
Yeah.
There was nothing on his Wikipedia page for club goals, so I had to type into Google how many club goals did Neil McCann score, and it just listed on the Google AI thing how many club goals he scored for each team, and then I added them up. So
right. Fucking hell, that's a lot of goals.
Yeah, I've not got a very good source, but I've tried to find him now on a different website.
He's not got Wikipedia.
He's got a Wikipedia, but it doesn't have his club goals on his Wikipedia page.
It's weird.
Well, if we're going with the 170 mental number,
I think 170 has made it difficult. I mean,
I think we go lower, yeah.
I think so, but I just find it very difficult to believe that Neil McCann scored more goals than James McFadden. I mean, that's fucking mad. But
Neil McCann.
Bear with me. You better not be googling there, Matthew. You behave yourself. I see what you. I know what you're like.
Ball and chain.
Oh, hold on. We might have over-egged Neil McCann slightly.
By like triple or something.
How did you
Like
manage
40
to
goals
up,
or like that.
Well, the numbers that came up on the AI thing must have been wrong.
The AI.
So he played 346 games.
Classic.
And he scored 47 goals.
Well, I think James McFadden scored slightly more than that.
What were you counting, mate? What did the AI tell you, by the way?
I'll
fabricated Neil
Was
McCann.
it including maybe assists and
Neil
Anyway,
McCann's
you got-
been creating like fake articles so that like AI like reads from that, being like Neil McCann was the greatest ever Scottish player. Boy barely played for Scotland, did he not?
From Maloney to McCann, you were then wrong, so that's 2 wrong you've got so far out of 5.
We were right at the time, so we
No, none of that.
I think you should be fucking buying us, mate. We're not error from time
exactly,
weekly.
Okay. So the AI thing here says Rangers FC for Neil McCann 102, and then it says
What?
Hearts 26, Southampton 30, Falkirk 3, and there's a bit that's still loading. It says dive deeper in AI, and then there must be a few more. But it says he scored 102 for Rangers, which I didn't question at the time, which was bad of me.
He was at Rangers for, was it like 4 years, 3 years, or something like that? I mean, there's no way he scored 100 goals. It's like 30 a season, like if he was there.
Anyway,
AI is a fucking load of shite, clearly. Yeah.
it wouldn't be a Tinpot episode if I didn't fuck up in some way. whether
Which
it's the
AI was
quiz
it?
or
Was it
my predictions. Oh, we've not done previews yet. We are lagging behind, boys. This is a disaster.
Right, we'll snap through this then.
Yeah, just
Well, yeah, let's crack on. Right, so you've got
McCann.
James McFadden. You said higher than Neil McCann on 47, which is correct. Stephen Naismith, higher or lower than James McFadden?
What did
Old
James
McFadden,
McFadden
sorry.
get?
78.
78.
Higher. Go Andrew,
Naismith.
higher. Higher.
Yeah,
He was
I
top
think-
goal scorer at Kelly, no?
He was, and then he scored a barrel load for Rangers, and then he scored pretty well at Everton as well, as far as I remember. So yeah, I'll go higher as well. Yeah,
Higher.
Yep.
That's correct. 130. Next up, Graham
Whoa.
Alexander.
Oh, he's a penalty king. He never missed a penalty, apparently. Go lower.
Lower.
Yeah, lower.
Surely.
Incorrect. 131
What?
for Graham Alexander.
Fucking hell.
Maybe that's wrong as well. No, it can't be. That's taken
Don't
from
trust
his wiki.
anything that you say anymore.
From his wiki, mate. Wiki.
Graham
Trust in
Alexander
wiki.
scored
He
131
did score a lot of
goals.
penalties then.
Yeah, he played 981 career games, scored 131 goals.
Was
Fair
was
play.
he at Crewe? Was it before he was up this way?
Is it Burnley?
He was at
Crewe.
Burnley and
Burnley.
Preston for a long time.
I thought he was at Crewe.
Scunthorpe,
actually.
Luton, Preston, Burnley, Preston. He never played in Scotland.
Hmm.
Anyway, so that was wrong. Stephen Fletcher next. Higher or lower than 131?
131's high, mate. But Stephen Fletcher hung around for
Yeah,
a lot
higher.
longer,
Let's
didn't
go
he?
higher. Yeah.
Yeah, go higher. Yeah, fuck
Go
it. why not?
151.
That's correct. 189.
Nice.
Whoa.
And
Done Fletch.
finally, Lewis Vaughan. Higher or lower than 189?
Well, he has been very
don't know.
unfortunate with 4 ACL injuries over his career. He's not played enough to get that many. I'm going to say lower.
I'll go with you on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Maybe the hundreds, maybe? Yeah, small hundreds. 101.
Depends where he's got the answers from.
Yeah. 1,000
yeah,
goals.
109. You were close, Matt. 109.
Good guess.
There you go. So I think that was 7 or 8 out of 10. I can't quite remember, but it wasn't. You passed anyway. It wasn't the full mark. So
I think
Call
it's
it a
the
draw.
let
first.
us know in the comments
Yeah,
if you
call
beat
it
the
a
boys.
draw. Yeah.
Good. Well played, Neil.
No points due from anyone.
I can't wait to do one of those ranking games with Neil McCann. That's going to be fucking great. He's the GOAT.
Lionel Messi of our
Yeah.
SPL era.
He's done the Pele. He's just like added some stats onto some videos of goals that don't exist.
Scored
100
these
goals
ones
when he
at
was a
school,
schoolboy,
yeah.
yeah. He's got like 15 goals in a game in like the playground at lunchtime.
This Wikipedia is fucking mental. That'd be so funny. Well, that was good fun. Thanks, Tam.
Pleasure. Before we end, we need to rattle through. You've got a minute each to preview a game before we close off, because this is already over an hour and it's meant to be a sort of shorter episode on a Friday. But anyway, Matthew, what's your game and what's your prediction?
Now I picked Inverness versus Cove, top versus bottom in League One. There were some claims I'd picked this game to get an easy 3 points on the board in the predictions league, but I picked it because it's quite an interesting fixture. You've got Cove battling for their lives at the bottom. You've got Inverness sitting the way at the top. Inverness with a good home record, Cove with a terrible away record, so you're going to settle for a home win surely. So I'll go 3-0.
You bottled it. I thought you were going to go for a Cove win. Oh well, that's 3 points for you. Well done. Andrew, what's your game and what's your prediction?
Fucking brutal. I've gone Morton Arbroath. Yeah, Morton at home. They've not been in the best of form. 1 and 5, a couple of draws in there as well. But they're always a tough team to beat. Arbroath flying high, but it's how long that momentum is going to carry forward. I'd really like to see them be in a decent position at Christmas time. To allow them to set themselves up nicely for the second half of the season. So I've gone for an away win. Arbroath 1-0, so 0-1.
1-0 Smokies, Lichties, whatever you want to call them. Good stuff. I have chosen a game definitely in the right competition, and I'm making sure I get the right team at home this time. It's Hearts versus Dundee United. First time I've chosen to preview my own team's game. Hearts United earlier in the season, it was Hearts 3, United 2 up at Tannadice. Hearts really didn't turn up that day. I don't think, compared to the other few games I've watched them this season, they weren't at their best. United were probably closer to their best form. That was around when we were playing quite well, the time we beat Dundee 2-0, Aberdeen 2-0. We were playing quite well back then. We've hit a sticky patch. We are pretty shite. We got a lucky win against St Mirren, but the performance was ganting. Away to Motherwell through the week. Last week was piss poor as well. We're conceding far too many goals. They're banging them in for fun. I'd love to see us get a result, but I just don't see it. happening. I think they could put a few goals past us. But I think we'll still got on the score sheet. I think it's going to be 3-1 to the GITs, unfortunately. So those are your weekend predictions. Our game's been moved to the Sunday because of that fucking egg chasing going on at Murrayfield. It's a joke.
Dear me. Who would have thought that Hearts, top of the league, would beat Dundee United? Crazy.
Yeah, mate, what a choice. Well done.
Well, I did have a plan if we'd had more time to dive into the game in a bit more detail and talk about the people, but we've ran over and we're just cramming this in. That's why I chose the game, is because I could offer a bit more insight to the games that I normally pick, and I'll be able to watch it.
Nice.
Anywho, that's episode 10 of Tinpot on Tour wrapped up. An episode chatting about captains and making tier lists and having quizzes and doing predictions. Loads of great fun. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the bell notification to let us know when these episodes drop. As a reminder, they are all on YouTube. If that's your preference to watch us and see the graphics, then please head across there. It's Tinpot Scottish Football Podcast. Search us there and enjoy. This episode is getting dropped on Friday. We're recording this on Wednesday the 5th of November, just for clarity, and then we'll be back again next Tuesday. So until then, take care of yourselves. Arrivederci.